We've had a really good day today. We've had a meeting organised by Ellen, really looking at how we can make adjustments to buildings, which will not only have an impact on positively on daily life weight gain, but will help drive our sort of theme of reducing the amount of antibiotics that are used routinely. And what we did was looked at the built environment. It's got suckler herd here, and also buying in store cattle. And really there's 5 points of analysis to look for. We're interested in if the environment is having a negative impact, it will be to do with one or more of the 5 points. First one being hygiene. I think quite a few units have a problem in that they're not realistic about the levels of hygiene that can be achieved, and we discussed that today. And the other 4 points, environmental points, in no particular order because they're all important, is the impact of moisture within a building. Are we managing it properly? There's huge amounts of moisture floating around livestock systems, and if we don't manage it properly, it will accumulate, and a lot of bacteria, maybe fungi as well, find that very beneficial. So we end up with a dirtier environment. It's also colder because it's damp, and that brings up the third point, which is temperature, which on the whole we don't control in naturally ventilated livestock buildings. It's just something we need to recognise. We come back to the moisture, and one way of managing moisture is to have good floors and drainage, but very importantly ventilation. But what we actually talk about is the other two remaining environmental factors, which is fresh air and air speed. So we take all the walls and roof off, we got loads of fresh air, but we have a terrible problem with air speed, and obviously wind-driven rain coming into a building. So it's really the 5 points. And what they've done here on the farm, what was great about today is that Tony and his family have taken on board a number of things to open up the buildings in terms of ventilation, starting with the ridges. And they got to show us that they've done so far 3 different approaches, ranging from a cost of nil per square metre all the way up to £150 per square metre, giving the same general impact, but obviously with slightly different side effects. So for example, the more expensive system has really rejuvenated a 1970s structure, and at the same time improving ventilation, letting in a lot more natural light. So really good to see how working with the vet, with Ellen and others, that what is already probably quite a good unit, they're seeing improvements in and reductions in the use of antibiotics.